Hello Werewolf Army, this is Jaden's videos, and this is Nightmare House 2018 Hellish Awakening Haunt Build Day 4. Now, this is a coverage of things that have happened over a few days. But each day, only a little bit was done at a time, so I didn't want to make a video until enough was done. Now, from now on, the haunt build videos will be changing in the format that I do them. And what I mean by that is, I'm going to start, instead of doing the videos at night, because I kind of hate doing them at night, unless I have really cool lighting to show. And the reason why is because I gotta go around with a flashlight, you can't see things in a hole and all of that, and I know you guys would rather see them in the day too. So what I'm gonna start doing is, the reason I do them at night is because I don't finish for the day until night. But what I'm gonna start doing is recording them throughout the day as progress is done. So trying to get this to focus, as each little thing is done throughout the day, I'll record some more of it. And I don't really think I need to explain that. As stuff is done throughout the day, I'll record what was done, and then I'll put it into the build video. But anyways, there's a lot to talk about in this one. Now, Halloween is 2 weeks away, so there's going to be haunt builds coming every single day now. The walls are not up yet. A lot of poles are being put in, though. And there's a lot to talk about because I made quite a few props. A lot of poles are being put in, and the whole layout has changed. Again, yes, I know, it's crazy, but this is the final layout. Last time I talked about it, I believe I was talking about it being in the side yard over there, as well as the backyard. Now it is in the side yard a little bit, but not as much as I talked about before. So let me just go through this, and there's also been a few scene changes too. So of course, we've got this is still the same. This is the Haunted Diner, of course, or just the Diner. I changed the name. It's not the Haunted Diner anymore, it's just the Diner. Bar thing right through the middle there. And then, so you'd have to walk around this way, go around this way. You guys probably remember this. So this is the Diner. Of course, it's not set up yet. It's going to be set up probably this weekend. I'll start setting up the Diner. I'm not sure. I don't know. It depends on what I'm doing this weekend. This weekend I might be doing more backyard stuff. Because I want to get all the walls done back there, and then move up to the Diner. And then move to the inside. I don't know yet. Because of course the animated stuff isn't put out until the week of Halloween. So not everything's going to be done until the week of. But probably the day of I'll probably do the last finishing touches. But you guys know what I mean. I'll probably put up the walls in the Diner after backyard walls are done. So of course Diner ends there. Of course go into Yolders Mental Correction Association, which is all in the living room, and then it goes to the dining room, which you can see right there. That's where that light's coming from. That is Scary Christmas Holiday of Hell. So that's the first hell scene guest encounter. That's all the same. Then this is the same too. Ghost Town on the porch here. I think I added a few other things. I'm not sure yet if I showed them in my last one or not, but so you guys know, come off the porch, Ghost Town. And then, like I mentioned, going around here, Torture Chamber is still in the same spot, of course, but things are about to change. Last time on Holy Cathedral was in the side yard, but since it is mainly the backyard, I'm using a lot more space of the backyard than I was before. Before I was using this, but I wasn't using any of that in the middle. It was just pretty much wrapping around the edges of the backyard, and that's why the side yard needed to be used. Then my dad pointed out to me that I could use the middle of the backyard too, and so the side yard doesn't really need to be used because the backyard is actually way bigger than the side yard. And usually the haunt's in the side yard, and yet it's massive. So in the backyard, it'll be still 2 times as big as usual. Especially since I'm using the inside and a little bit of the side yard. So using that, it will be at least 3 times as big as previous years. And so that's my cat is going in a hole. Okay. Anyways, it's gonna be pretty big. So, this torture chamber is still the same, but then instead of going to the Island of the Headhunters there, which I pointed out before, because all of this was cut off. None of that was a thing last time. This time, so I'm using that, so that's going to expand it a lot more too. So, like I said, haunt's 3 times bigger than it usually is. It's going to go this way. This is a new scene. This is called the House of Sin. This is another hell theme, since the haunt is a hell theme this year. Like I said, and I'm going to say it again, I'm going to stop saying this soon, but I just want to say it just for those of you who are new to the haunt build, since these are only the first few days of the actual builds this year. Just like last year, the theme was pirates, but not every room was pirates. The majority was pirates. This year's the same. The majority of the rooms are hell, but there's a few that aren't. But anyways, excuse me. But anyways, this is the House of Sin. So it is my porch, because this part of my porch is completely ruined. I don't even know how this happened, but yeah. So definitely all those leaves will be off of there and stuff, and it'll look a lot, well, I don't want to make it look too nice, but it won't have as much garbage laying around on it. But this is going to be the House of Sin. This is supposed to be Dr. Voodoo's house, and there's supposed to be a bunch of demons in it and stuff, so that's going to be cool. It's going to be like a witchcraft type thing, like voodoo type thing, summoning demons here. Then this will be the entrance to Unholy Cathedral. That's where the doorway will be, and then the cathedral, that's going to have to be cut down, but the cathedral is going to be built here. So that's where the entrance will be. So this will be the inside of Unholy Cathedral. I don't think I'm going to put a roof on this one because there's trees, and so it blocks off the sky anyways, and so it will, because the trees won't even be illuminated, so you won't even be able to tell that there's trees. It's just enough to block off the moonlight enough where it actually will look like you're inside, because no one ever pays attention to the grass when they're outside, because, I mean, when you're in a haunted house, you're supposed to be looking around. Like, even professional haunted houses, like Halloween Horror Nights, their haunted houses are inside, all of their haunted houses are, and yet half of them are meant to look like they're outside, but when you're in the haunted house, you don't notice that you're walking on concrete floors. It still looks like you're outside. So same with this. You're not going to notice that you're outside. It's going to look like you're inside by the way that I make it. So this is going to be Unholy Cathedral. The house, it's not going to be white, don't worry. It's going to have a scene setter, a stone wall scene setter on it. And that window's not going to be like that. It's going to be made into a stained glass window, so I'm going to like have stuff around the edges to make it look more rounded. And then it's going to have different colored stuff on it to make it look like stained glass. And then Unholy Cathedral ends here, because that tree is there and I don't want it to be on the inside. Then it goes outside again, and then this is the summoning. Of course, the witchcraft scene. So this is the summoning, all of this area, and then this is a doorway which leads to Rabid Zoo. This Rabid Zoo is over here now. So you can see I already put some props in place. I put the lion here at the entrance of the zoo like he was last year. Of course, the zoo was over there last year though, but I put him there. And then I put this Rabid Zoo sign that I made here, and I put some moss on it. I think it looks pretty cool, and I kind of spray painted it to make it look a little dirty. I don't know if I showed this before, but if I did, I made it look better. And it's in the bushes like it's being overgrown by plants and stuff. So I think that looks cool. It's kind of hard to see what it says, but when I'm going to have a light shining directly on it, and so that will definitely be a lot easier to read. But it's at the front. Of course, there's a bunch of vines in this area, so I thought this is perfect for the zoo. I also put a spider back here climbing up the bush, because I had some spiders in Rabid Zoo last year, because it is a zoo, and spiders are usually at zoos. Like, I'm sure most of you have been to a zoo before, there's some parts of the zoo that usually has bug enclosures with just little bugs and stuff, like it's an indoor part. But since this is a big spider, it's going to be like he escaped the bug enclosure and he's like a mutant spider or whatever. So he's just crawling in the bush there. Gonna have werewolves and stuff in the trees here. I think it's gonna look pretty cool. I'll get into poles in a little bit. And then over here, there's gonna be like some growling sound effects back there. And then yes, we'll turn here. Creepy Carnival Circus of Chaos is gonna be right here. It's gonna be this big area right here, and it's gonna be a whole circus tent built. So I think that's gonna look pretty cool. It's gonna have a peak, it's gonna be a whole tent. Then it will go out this way. This will be the exit to that scene. And this will be Sacrificial Dungeon now. And then Island of the Headhunters is still in the same spot. It's right here. And then the Afterlife is going to be right about here. And it's going to turn. There's still some sticks and stuff to pick up off the ground, but it's going to turn here. And then the Heaven's going to be on that side of it, and then Hell is going to be this way, so you're going to turn and go into Hell. And then this is a new scene I decided called, shoot, what did I call it? Passage of the Damned. So I took out Unearthed, because Unearthed, you can see I started digging the pit of hell, but it was going to take forever to dig that pit. Also, it was only going to be the pit. I didn't know what else to put in it. It's not like it's an actual scene that you can walk through. The whole scene was just going to be, oh, you walk past the pit and look down into the pit. Though it was a cool idea to have the infinite pit that goes on forever, there just wasn't going to be enough to that scene. And a lot of people probably wouldn't even look down into the pit. And so I just thought, I'm just going to scrap that one. So this is going, remember, all of that's going to be blocked off and stuff, so don't worry about any of that stuff right there. This is going to be Passage of the Damned, so it's going to be like after you go through the afterlife, which leads you into hell itself. This is going to be the passage of all the lost souls in hell, and then you'll go into the Devil's Throne room, which is also supposed to be in hell, and the Devil's Throne is going to be somewhere in here. Then you're going to leave the whole area where you're supposed to be trapped in hell itself, because in case you didn't know, the afterlife, these whole rooms I just described here, the afterlife, Passage of the Damned, and the Devil's Throne, are all supposed to be like the rest of it. Okay, instead of Unearthed being the pit of hell that the demons crawled out of, which was the original plan, because the haunt theme this year is that Dr. Voodoo unleashed the pit of hell on the town of Nightmare after the pirates invaded last year, and now the whole town is being overrun by demons. So that's the whole story this year, of course. But I wanted the pit of hell to be the place that they're crawling out of, because they've obviously got to have a place that they're coming out of to invade the town. And so Unholy Cathedral and all of that are all themes that the demons are supposed to be invading and stuff, and I just dropped my phone. But anyways, I decided to not do it like that and not have Unearthed. Instead, it's supposed to be like you've fallen into the pit of hell at this point. So those 3 rooms are going to be the pit that they came out of. You've pretty much fallen into the pit that is opened up, and it's supposed to be such a big pit that you don't even realize it until you're actually in the scenes. So you leave Nightmare itself for 3 scenes to go into the pit that they came out of in the middle of Nightmare. Maybe kind of confusing, but let me just restate this. They came out of a pit, are invading Nightmare. That's why a lot of the scenes are hell themed. But then these 3 scenes are not inside of Nightmare. They're inside the pit that they came out of in the first place, if that makes sense. So anyways, I thought that was a cooler idea than doing just a normal pit that you look down into that most people aren't even going to notice. Also, I had this huge space to do Unearthed, and it was just going to be a pit right there. It just wasn't going to work. It was a great idea, but it just wasn't going to work for a whole scene based on it, which is why I changed that and added Passage of the Damned, which is taking up some more space, and so it'll be good how it is. Anyways, you're going to be in there for those 3. Oh, I just fell into the hole. I'm keeping that in the video. That's pretty funny. Okay. I fell into the hole, and I scraped myself, but it's kind of worth it to keep it in the video, because that's pretty funny, honestly. Anyways, back to this. Passage of the Damned, right here, all this. And then you're going to leave that section, and you're going to go, now you've come out of the pit, you've come back into Nightmare itself. Butcher Shop is obviously in here. I obviously already showed you all the progress that I did in there. I don't think I need to show any more because you guys already saw that. Nothing really has changed in there, unless in the last video I showed some things that maybe I didn't, maybe I did. I don't know. This slide's going to be moved, by the way. It's probably going to be sold. But anyways, then you get out of the Butcher Shop. Dark Harvest, the barn. Of course, here's the field that leads up to the barn. I put some pumpkins over here. There's going to be way more than this. I just put those there as a start. And then I put a farmer's hat over here and some farming tool. Well, just a normal tool, but it can be used for farming. So I decided to put that over there. Those are just some background props. There will be definitely a lot more added to this section because it is huge. But anyways, the barn itself, of course, starts here. This is all the same as you guys probably remember. And then it's going to go to, this is different. Cemetery of the Reaper is going to be right here by this fallen down tree because I think that'll look pretty cool. Towering Reaper like behind the tree or something. That should look pretty cool. And then it's going to go to the Dragon's Lair. That's going to be this area right here. And then the Dragon's Lair is going to go here. This whole area is Festival of the Fallen. I believe this was already like this, except I put some lights up there, and I tried to put some banners, but they keep getting flipped over, so I'm probably just going to put some new ones up because they keep getting tore down and stuff. But so I'm going to redo those. So this is a Festival of the Fallen. Of course, not much is done in it, but a little bit. This whole area. And then instead of going through this and then going on the sides, as you saw, all the scenes that were on the side got moved back there. And so I don't need to do the side anymore. Instead, I'm just going to have Festival of the Fallen go up here, and then it's going to use the carport. Laboratory is going to be here. Then it's going to turn that way. Instead of going straight, it's going to turn that way. Haunted Mansion is going to be that hall. Then Haunted Mansion is going to turn back this way. And then Bedroom of Possession will be in here because I want one of the hell themes to be the last theme in the haunt. And that's also going to be one of the creepiest themes because, I mean, it's an exorcism theme. And who isn't afraid of exorcisms? And so that's going to be here. And then the exit is going to be here. And so it's enormous. Anyways, with all that out of the way, I'll show you some of the poles that were done, and then I need to end this video because it's already much longer than I wanted it to be. So let me just show you some of the poles. These were all here last time. These were all here. This one was put in as a pole so it can go diagonal to Unholy Cathedral. Well, House of Sin, then Unholy Cathedral. This pole was put in for the doorway for Unholy Cathedral. This pole was put in as a wall and also a doorway to the summoning. And then this pole was put in, those two poles were put in as the doorway to Rabbit Zoo. And then this pole was put in as a wall, of course, just to separate. And then this one was just put in, my dad actually just did this one. And this is to start the doorway of Creepy Carnival Circus of Chaos. Of course, the other one's going to go there to start it. So this whole side of the yard is almost done. This whole side will be done by tomorrow. Excuse me. And by tomorrow, most likely, this side will be half done. Like this area right here with the whole 3 themes inside of hell. After those are done, these are going to be done. There's not very many walls in this section right here, so those are going to be done. And then those, and then in the process of doing all those poles, the walls will be being put up. And then front, and of course, you guys know how it goes, but the progress is pretty good, because this whole part is already, like, almost done. This whole part over here, this whole side over here, is going to be done by tomorrow. So that's really good. Now, let me show you guys some stuff I did in Island of the Headhunters. And you can't see very well with the light on, but it looks cool with it off. I put this green light went out. Let me say something about these fire and ice lights. I love these fire and ice lights, but after like only a year of using them, they die out, which I don't understand because they're LED lights, and yet they die out after like a year of using them. This one actually just died out tonight, and I haven't had it for more than 2 years, and it's an LED light. LED lights should last way longer than 2 years. So that sucks. So I'll have to get a new green one, I guess. But anyways, these lights are put back in the bamboo. So I got 2 blues, and then there was a green in the middle, but it's not there anymore. With the green, the 2 blues contrasted. The colors did very well, and it looked very much like a tropical island. But you could see the blues in the bamboo. I'll go and try to turn off that light so you can see. Actually, I'll do that after I show you guys this stuff. The torso prop is put here. This is where this table is going to go in the haunt. This is going to have a saw on it too, so it's not completed. It's going to have a big saw on it, like this guy's been sawed in half because this is the torture chamber. So it's not completed. This over here, this is most likely going to go next to the table. Of course, this is not the exact placement. Hey, Sparky, he just got on the table. He's sniffing the dead body. What an evil little cat. I love him. He's licking it too. Yeah, he's licking it. That's kind of crazy. I love you, Sparky. Anyways. It's kind of cool. See a black Halloween cat next to a dead body. I like that. Anyways, you got a little grass on you, kitty. Get that out of your mouth. Get. You just ate it. Okay. Anyways, this I made the other day. This is a basket of guts. I'm really proud of this. It's very basic, but I'm just proud of how it turned out. It looks really cool. So it's just a basket, and then I got some great stuff, and I put all the great stuff on it. Great stuff is great for guts, if you didn't know. Most haunters know that great stuff is good for guts, but if you didn't know, great stuff is good for guts. So the guts are spilling out of the basket, which I really, really like. And then I just put a bunch of great stuff at the bottom there as guts. It doesn't show up as good on the camera. It appears more pinkish on the camera. It's very weird. It's because of the lighting, really. But the light is so bright that it's just how the camera picks it up. But it's actually a very glossy red. But anyways, a bunch of great stuff at the bottom there as guts, and then all of these are actually stuck in here. They can't come out because while the great stuff was still drying, I stuck them in, and so they got dried in with the great stuff, so they can't come out, which is good. So I put all these different limbs in here, so it's a pretty disgusting sight. I really like it. And then I spray painted the great stuff a glossy shade of red spray paint, and it turned out really good. Very basic, but still very cool. So if you're doing any scene that has blood and gore, which most haunts do have blood and gore no matter what the theme is, great stuff is perfect to use if you didn't already know that. And this is a great prop. I actually saw the idea for this on Pinterest. Though it is very basic, it's definitely very cool and quite disgusting looking, so I like it. Up here, this is a hell prop I made. This was originally for Sacrificial Dungeon, but then, because Sacrificial Dungeon was also going to have like burnt corpses and stuff, but then when I made Passage of the Damned, I decided to put it in there. So it's this skeleton that broke right when I got it out of the package, these cheap skeletons. So I decided just put it in here. This is great stuff that's on top of cardboard. I just put all the great stuff on there, and then I spray painted it black, and you can't really tell in the dark, but there's orange in there too. Quite a lot of orange. And then I spray painted the black over the orange, and so it was a contrast of both black and orange to make molten rock. So it is molten rock and embers and stuff. And I really like it. It looks awesome. And it's supposed to be burning embers, really, because when I'll show you what it does afterwards. It's not very bright either, but I like that, because it's supposed to be embers, like a dying fire, and dying fires are never bright at all. So I like it. Looks very cool, looks very realistic in person, even if it doesn't show up as well on camera, but it still looks really cool. And the skeleton is, of course, in it, because he's supposed to be being burned, and like I said, he was going to go in Sacrificial Dungeon, but I decided to put him in Sacrificial Dungeon. I think I'm just going to have, like, cult members and stuff. No burnt corpses, just, like, cult members killing people normally. Not, like, burning them alive or anything. Burning alive is going to be more of a Passage of the Damned thing now. So I also spray painted the skeleton. I put some black on him to make him look like he's burnt. Which I really like how it turned out, because I just spray painted little spots. I didn't spray paint the whole thing, because then that would just look like a black skeleton, and he wouldn't really look burnt. So I just did little parts because it gives a more burnt effect, and I think it looks really cool. So I'm going to turn on the switch now. There's battery operated lights under there, orange lights, and they look awesome. Let me turn off the light so you can see how they look. Oh, that light is so hot. Hold on, I need to unplug the light. I can't just turn it off, it's too hot. Work lights are the hottest things to touch on planet Earth. Not the hottest, but they're very hot. I can't even touch the switch on the back. Jeez. Anyways, here is the burning embers. And I know you can't see it very well, and you can only see it out of the sides. But that is the intention. You're not supposed to see it too well, because it's just a dying fire. And I know you still can't see it too good, because that light's still on, but I think it looks cool, and in the complete dark, it's going to look pretty awesome. It's just shining through the great stuff, and it looks like a dying fire. So I think it turned out looking really cool, and I really like it. In the back you can see it more than the front, but still really cool. You can see it right there, coming out on the sides mainly. I really like it. I think it looks pretty awesome. And before I end this haunt build video, I'm going to show Sparky, but also I'm going to show what the Island of the Headhunters looks like with the lights. It looks awesome, as you can see. It looked even better with the green, but of course that one had to die out on me. But it looks super cool. It has a very tropical rainforest type look, and then if you look up, it shines up all the way up through the bamboo. I put them pretty far back in the bamboo, like not extremely far back, but pretty far back to the point where you can see them a little bit, but they're not too easy to see. Like that one's pretty easy to see, but you just got to be at the right angle, and the bamboo blocks it. But it looks really cool. It shines on quite a lot of the bamboo. It looks even better in person, because on camera you can mainly only see the blue light. But of course, as you guys know, these blue fire and ice plates have a little bit of green in them, and so you can see the green more in person than on camera. I think it looks great. Now I'll have to let me know in the comments below, because the green and the blue, they went really well together. They looked really good. They blended very well together, the green and the blue. They looked like they should be together. But I want to know in the comments below, should I do the green? Should I get a new green for this? Or should I just get a new blue? I actually think I have another blue, because I had quite a lot of blues after doing the pirate theme last year. I had to stock up on blues last year. This year I have to stock up on reds, since it's a hell theme. So, not getting any more blues, unless I don't have another blue for this, but I'm sure I have another blue for this. I have to get a lot more reds, though, for the hell theme. But should I get another blue for the middle, or should I get a green? I don't know, because I want to see what the blue looks like with 3 blues. But the 3 the two blues and the green looked really cool. And right before I end this video, I'm going to show that right there. Those lights that I got at Target for only $20. And I think they're worth it. Because at Spirit Halloween, you get 3 Fire and Ice string lights. Because they are Fire and Ice string lights. You get 3 of them for, I think, $25. And this is 6. This was 6 for $20. So, they aren't Fire and Ice, they're just Kaleidoscope, because Jemmy didn't make these, and Jemmy copyrighted Fire and Ice. But, so they're not Fire and Ice, they are just Kaleidoscope, and they are made by Philips. They don't look as good as Fire and Ice, because Fire and Ice has a more fluid effect, so it looks more like fire, whereas these have more of a, it's more of a, crystal-y type effect, honestly. As you can see, it moves a little more jagged than the fluid effect that Fire and Ice has. But I think they still work for what I'm going for, because I'm going to have more red lights in here. So I think they still work fine. But as you can see, they look really cool. They're going to be on there, since this is Festival of the Fallen. And Festival of the Fallen is supposed to be like the festival that the demons are throwing. So I like them being string lights. But also, they're just supposed to create a fiery effect on the ground, which you can see. And also, Harbinger of Hell is going to be up on the porch here. So he's going to be looking down on the porch, so the lights will shine on him, which I really like. So, it's good that I got those, because Fire and Ice lights separately are $25, so it's good to get 6 of them, because, like I said, I need to stock up on a lot of red ones this year for the Hell theme, but... So it is good to get 6 red ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I'm sure there was 6. It's just like one of them's down there, so I thought there was like a little bit more than 6 for a second, because it's just kind of jagged. But anyways, it's good to get 6 of them for $20, so it can cover more space. They're not as bright as the normal Fire and Ice lights, but with 6 of them shining down, it gives off enough light where it looks creepy. And that light is on, so you can't see the full effect, but I think it'll be bright enough to cast light on this little section on Halloween night. There will also be like red Fire and Ice lights on the roof and stuff. So I don't think it should be a big deal that they're not too bright, because I think that's enough for that porch area. Because of course haunts are also supposed to be very, very dark. And so, though I want it to cast enough light on stuff so people can see props and actors and stuff, I also don't want it to be too bright, because it is a haunt, and haunts are supposed to be dark. So I think that's a right amount of lighting. Anyways, without further ado, I will end this video. And so there was a lot to talk about today, since it was progress that was done over a few days. Also, if I didn't show that before, it's a wanted sign in Ghost Town, so I really like that there. But I think I already showed it. Anyways, a lot of stuff. There was a lot of stuff to talk about today. I'll do more haunt builds tomorrow. Each day there will be a new haunt build, just because we're getting close to Halloween, and so stuff will need to be done each day. And walls will be put up soon, and though it is very hard to see the whole consistency of the haunt right now, it's very hard to see how things are when I discuss them. You kind of just got to visualize how it's going to look in your brain. And though you will not see what the haunt's going to look like on Halloween night until Halloween night, because not everything's going to be out here until Halloween night itself, you'll get a better picture of how big each theme is, what I'm talking about when I talk about the walls and stuff, when the walls are actually put up. It'll be much easier to imagine exactly what I'm doing with the walls when you can actually see the walls and you can see where each theme ends and a new one begins. Because right now it's all just one big open space except for the poles, so it's very hard to tell the sections, and it's hard to tell which theme is which when it's just one big open space. But when the walls are put up, it'll make more sense. It also doesn't look too great right now because there's a lot of sticks still on the ground and stuff, and without the walls I can't block off things like the shed and stuff, and so it looks kind of weird with just the shed just hanging out there in a hell-themed haunt. But once the walls block off the shed, it'll be much easier to see what I'm going for, and it'll look good. This is going to be better than last year, and I was very proud of last year, and I know I got very many positive comments on that video, so thank you guys for that. I got a lot of positive comments saying that it was a really good haunt, and so it's going to be better than last year. So if you guys liked last year, just don't worry. just know that it's going to be even better this year. So I hope you all enjoyed this haunt build video. I'm very excited to do this haunt because hell is a great topic for Halloween. I'm super excited to do a hell theme. And so, without further ado, I'm going to end this video. Keep howling at the moon, my werewolves, and say goodbye to Sparky, the Halloween kitty.
Hey, come back. You don't play fair and you're making me angry. But maybe if you subscribe to Jaden's videos and join the werewolf army, I'll let you live another day. But it's not guaranteed.